Hi everyone. So at the time of this recording, the new year is closely coming upon us. And so I wanted to get in the craft room today and do some crafting. Now, one of the, I guess, traditions of the new year is for people to make resolutions. And I guess I kind of play around with resolutions, but really what I'm really focusing on this year is having goals and trying to stick to those goals. That's the wording that I'm going to use. And so what I've decided is I'm going to make a journal to track some of these goals. I'm more of an old school person that, yes, I use my phone for a lot of things, but I haven't totally gone all the way of where I track everything on a technical device of that sort of thing. So I'm still one that likes to use paper and pencils, and journals and things are my go-to. I'm a note taker. And so I've decided I'm going to make a New Year's journal to keep up with the goals as I have them right now, kind of track them and make adjustments along the way. And then I'll be able to keep that, and not only to keep up with, see where I've been and where I'm going. So join me and we'll make my New Year's journal. Okay, here's the things that I think I've decided to use for this journal. So first of all, here's my notebook. And I had picked up several of these at Walmart recently. They're Pen and Gear, 30 sheets, college ruled. It's a 5.83 inch by 8.27 inch. And you can buy them individually. I think they're just $1 or $2, not very much. They say you can find them at walmart.com, but I got these in store. They are perforated sheets. Actually, it says this one says perforated sheet heavyweight paper. Oh no, the last 15 sheets are detachable. That's what it says. Interesting. Okay, yes, I can see it. I don't know if you can see right up here up close. I'm not necessarily planning to detach, but these are great little journals to find here with the craft paper front. And it's going to be perfect. You know, I want to cover them and use some of my pretty paper. So with this being the plan, that I'm doing the journal to keep track of goals, and then as I make adjustments and then how those goals are working, I'm going to be doing a lot of writing in this, but I want to make it cute that I can keep it in with me most of the time, maybe in my bag, that sort of thing. So I wanted to use some paper that will work throughout the year. And that's another thing that I'm trying to do this year, is to use up my paper. I have a whole bunch of paper. I am a fan of Heidi Swapp, and I went back through looking at my paper. This paper pad is all the way from 2013. It has some great paper in it. Some of it, yes, has some of the look and feel of the 2013s with the leopards and the, chevrons, that sort of thing, which are great papers to use. But there's still a lot of classic papers, the stripes. Let's see, that's what come out. Okay, right here. I'm probably going to be going with the florals on the front. I love flowers. Look at this print right here. Polka dots. I'm going with this. And the other thing that really got me, okay, so I want this to be my 2025 journal. So I think I want to use some numbers. So I'm going to somehow cut out 2025 to go on this front cover. They also have, she's got some cute cards in here that I might use, put some journaling cards either for decoration on the front or inside. Here's my plan. And then I'm gonna cut the paper out and get ready. I'm gonna need to cover the front and the back. I also want to cover my inside covers of the journal, and I think I'm gonna cover this front page. Then I'm gonna begin putting in the sections. I have 8 different sections, and I said there were 30 sheets in this page. I'm going to also use, in this booklet, I'm going to use my tab punch and create my tabs for my 8 different items. And I'm going to get started on that now, and you can follow along. Grab you a book and we'll work on our little 2025 journals together. All right, I have my papers picked out and they are cut, and I have also put 2-sided tape on the back, or tear tape, and I think I'm going to use that and maybe a little bit of glue. We'll see. But here's what I'm thinking about. So I cut these covers, at 5 5/8 by 8 1/16. And that's going to leave just a little bit of a border, the Kraft border around here. And I like that look because a lot of times I will put cardstock behind my books to have that little edge. And then let's just take advantage of this beautiful cardstock that we have here, this Kraft paper. So this is the size I'm using, and also notice that I have corner rounded these two outer edges, and the book was already rounded like that. So I think I'm going to go with that look. So let's take off the tape and let's apply the front. I am going to wait and do the major decorating, if we choose to do any, at the end. But for now, let's go ahead and put the paper on the front cover. And for the back of the journal, I'm going to use the same type of paper, and I have rounded those corners as well. Placed my tape on the back, and we will apply this to the back. One thing I have learned is I seem to always do better on the back side, and I think it's because I do it secondly. I'll do the cover first and then do the back. And I think I've already worked out the kinks and my shakes and everything of putting the cover on. So I think I need to change that up. Do the front cover, do the back cover first, then the front cover. I didn't do too bad of a job, but I do like how I lined up the back side a little bit better. But I love these flowers. That looks like almost gardenias to me, or it could be some peonies. That looks like some hydrangeas. This is just a beautiful flower print. So here's what I've got planned for the inside front cover. So I have a print here that is the same size as the covers, 5 5/8 by 8 1/16. And that's going to fit right inside there, again, with the border from the Kraft paper. And then I'm going to use this paper to make a pocket. And that's going to be where we're going to do some crafting here of this pocket. But let's go ahead and place this inside cover paper down. I like having this border, especially on the inside, because I already try to leave a little bit of border on the fold, because that just helps to make that fold a little bit easier and not so bunched up with paper. Okay, so front cover. Now let's work on this pocket. Taking another Kraft piece of cardstock. It's very similar to the color of our notebook. And I've cut it at 5 by 6. Now that's not the actual final dimension that we're going to have of this pocket. What I need to do first with my scoreboard, I'm going to have a 4.5 by 5.5 sheet of paper here. So I need to do some scoring. So I'm going to take on the 5-inch side and let's score a 1/2 inch. And on the 6-inch side, we're going to score that at a 1/2 inch. Okay. And this is actually I'm going to put in my journal, I'm going to put this pocket here on the left-hand side. And so I'm going to fold down on those score lines to give me that left-hand side pocket. Now, let's go ahead and where we have this, the intersection of these score lines, we've got a rectangle here, and I'm going to cut that off, make a little angled cut. And that's going to help because when we fold up, we don't really bump into each other as much on those intersections there. Okay, so we've got that fold, but I'm not going to keep it like this. I want to cut here at an angle. So what I want to do, I'm going to take my pencil. So again, mark it at 1.5 there. And from the bottom, let's mark it at 1.5. And then we're going to connect these with a cut. Just line up those two marks as close as we want to. And that's going to give me a pocket. Also did a corner rounding of this pocket, and we're going to end up placing the pocket right there on that inside corner. Now, this is the paper though that I've chosen to go over this, and I cut this at 4 3/8 by 5 3/8. So let me show you how we're going to do that in a very similar way so that it will fit on that pocket. We want to also take it and mark at 1.5 and 1.5 from the bottom. Now we're not going to have to do any fold lines for this because it's just going to fit on top, right? And have a, it will have the border around it of the Kraft paper. So let's line up those marks that we just made. Oops, okay, top one, bottom one, and we're gonna just trim that off. And let's see how it fits. We cross our fingers that that's going to fit, and it's just, almost just right. Let me go ahead and round this corner here. That will help it a bit. I didn't make it very much smaller than the 4 5/8, but I think I want to go a little bit smaller. Let's cut this angle just a little bit more. Some of these, when we do, it's just a little bit of a trial and error until we get it just right. And that's what I was thinking. Let me use my I wanted to use my big cutter because when it's just a sliver, sometimes it doesn't cut it as cleanly. Let's see how that turned out. I think that's going to work, except do I want to take any off the top? I don't think so. I think that angle looks off just a bit. Is it enough to bother me? I don't think so. I think that's gonna work. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some tape first. Actually, I think I'm gonna glue this one on. Let's glue this piece on to our Kraft paper. This piece has a little bit of a glittery textured feel to it. Let me back off of. And then we've got the tabs to work with on the underside of this pocket that's going to give our attachment. So we'll let that sit there, and remember we have the tabs here. So I'm going to apply some sticky tape to that. So now we'll take the sticky tape off, the two-sided tape, and I'm going to use a little bit of glue. Let me just do the bottom first. I stopped myself before I went too far. It's usually easier to align one side at a time. So I'm going to line this up. I'm going to take that out and align this up with the bottom and that side. I don't want any to stick out. And the good thing about using a little bit of glue is it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. It has that movement, allows the movement. And that's gonna work. Okay, we're just gonna have that there. Get any kind of glue that comes out so that we don't glue our pocket together. And now it will be time to lift off this tear tape, and we'll put a little glue on it on the side and apply this. And I can't really run that bone folder as well just because, like I was telling you, this pink is a texture and I don't want to really rub all that off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paperweight and set that there, and we'll let it dry for a little bit. Okay, so this inside pocket is finished and ready, and now let's get to work on the back of the inside cover. And we're going to use some pink paper for that, and we're going to do a different style pocket on that. But first, I'm going to work on taking this tape off, and we'll glue this down. And now we're going to do the back inside cover. And again, we've got the border, rounded edges on the outside there. And we'll burnish it down. So now for this back inside pocket, I'm going to put a pocket here on this right hand side, and we'll slide in from here. So we're going to start off with a piece of Kraft paper that is 3 by 9 1/4, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So we're going to be on the shorter side, 1/2 inch. Now let's go the longer side. Or I may have said that backwards, how we're doing it. I mean, we're scoring the longer side, but we turn our paper, and there's a 1/2 inch. Okay, and so that's actually going to leave a pocket that is about 2.5 deep there. Okay, and where we have the intersection, we're going to cut at a little angle and just trim that corner piece off. So again, our folds won't bunch up together. And now we can just go about and fold those, and let's make sure that everything fits nice before we place our decorative paper on top. That's going to make our pocket, and we have our, let's see, and then let's go ahead and round these corners. The paper's a little bit thicker, but that's okay. Hopefully your punch can get that corner, and that's going to fit right there on the book. So it goes all the way down, top to bottom. We need to put some tape on that. So for the decorative paper that's going to fit on here, it needs to be 2 3/8 by 8 1/8. We're going to round these edges. And that's going to fit right on top of our pocket. And so let's go ahead and we will glue this down. For the pocket, I have gone ahead and placed this 2-sided tape, and we're just going to do this first longer side first. We'll line that up, and that will leave the other edges we'll place down in just a moment. Let's put a little bit of our wet glue on it. And I've got these edges up And let's work to line this up.
This side.
That's in place good. We've got that down, very nice. Take that and really burnish those edges down. We've got that good. Okay, and now we can go ahead and place these sides down. And it should be just folding these down and applying just a little bit of pressure. I've decided to make a change. After I started looking at some of the tabs, I didn't like it as much. So I think I'm just going to go back to the old-fashioned way. I had already glued down one of those, and I just really didn't like how it did. I think I'm just going to write out at the top what my section is. This first one is for my Bible reading, and so I'll be able to put some plans here. And then the second section I had down for cleaning around the house and organizing. And I think I'm just going to have those sections there. I may come back and add some clips. I think I want to make some hidden paper clips later, and I'll be making some things to go in this. But this gets me a start on my journal. It's a custom made for me, the things I like, and using my paper. I've got my little pockets here that I can put things in. I'm going to put my intro with my name, and I know I also mentioned using the numbers. I'm going to come back and do that. I haven't decided all the way if I want to use maybe a hidden clip to do the numbers with that, but I'm going to share that in an upcoming video. I have my intro page, and then I'm going to start in with each of the sections that I have, along with our back page that we have the pocket that we can put there. And it's going to be a nice little journal I can keep with me through the year. I hope you got to make a journal along with me. And, you know, we can buy journals in the store ready-made and just open them up and go. But I love, especially if you're a paper crafter, I love using my paper, and I love decorating, adding the little inserts and things that are things that I have made. And I'm going to use this throughout the year. So I hope you've gotten a chance to make you one. And we'll be making some other things throughout the year that we can add and use in our journal and in other journals that you're making. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and enjoy making pretty things.